We're already seeing a number of Republican senators who aren't keen on the package that their leadership is coming up with. There are 5 on record now saying they can't support this. If you include another 3, 4, 5, or 6 Republicans who are leery the way it stands right now, haven't indicated whether they'll vote against it. But the target right now for some Republicans seems to be Nevada Republican Senator Dean Heller, who, Katrina Pierson had told me a short time ago on Fox Business Network would be a worthy target to have primaried because of his opposition to this. Take a look.
This is the one thing that particularly Republican primary voters care most about. So if Senator Heller receives a primary challenge, that's not our problem.
Wait a minute, Katrina. He's looking at something that isn't markedly different than the one it replaces. He's just saying, I think we can do better, right?
Oh, and we probably can do better, but here's the thing.
But you're already threatening the guy. You're already threatening the guy. If you go ahead with this, we're gonna primary your ass.
Obamacare is gone one way or the other. Republicans did not have a plan to put up at the very beginning. There is a plan now. This is a vote to move the process forward. This is not the actual plan that's going to be in place. They're making revisions as we speak.
Well, now's the time to make the revisions, right? Now's the time to fix it. You're now threatening this guy.
But you do that in conference, too. You can do that in conference as well. This is a process decision at this point, and we need to get this process moving forward so that we can get to a final bill.
All right, but how can you do that under the threat of we're going to primary you if you don't go along with what we say? That sounds like a bad Tony Soprano episode.
Well, actually, it's just an accountability issue.
Well, then you ought to have accountability for all these others, and you don't.
Oh, and we do, and we absolutely will.
You have accountability for him because he's the most vulnerable. That's not fair. That's not right, and you know it.
Well, this is just the beginning. No one else had a press conference.
What do you mean this is just the beginning? You're going to do the same with all of those? You're going to do the same with Ted Cruz, Mike Lee, Ron Johnson, Rand Paul, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski?
For any senator or any House member that does not move forward on the policies that many of Americans wanted to put first in November.
Katrina? What's moving forward to you? Accepting something that is fatally flawed and even conservatives are saying is just a lighter version of what we have out there? What's wrong with someone who stands up and says, well, I don't flip over this. I'd like to try to make it bigger. But already Katrina's talking about the Trump White House trying to have a primary challenge for me simply because I spoke out.
Well, first, we don't represent the White House. And somebody like Senator Cruz and Rand Paul have said, yes, I want to get something better. This is a little bit different.
He has said he'd like to see something better. What's his version of better versus his?
He said he's not on board. Period. That's the difference.
No, that's not what he said. He has also talked about he is open to something that could be more cost-effective and fairer when it comes to Medicaid treatment, a very big issue in his state. You have to be cognizant of what he's dealing with in his own state.
It's a very big issue in all of the states, which is exactly
why
I
don't know. It seems like you're picking and choosing who you want to screw here, and it looks like this guy is fair game.
Well, any person that is not supporting putting America first in their policies, and this is something like Obamacare, something that has hurt all Americans, not just in
He's saying that what you come up with is something like Obamacare, and he doesn't want a part of it. He wants to make it better. Now, look, I'm not hardly an apologist for the guy. I'm just saying, what he's trying to do is something that these other guys are trying to do, but for some reason he becomes the target and these other guys not.
Well, again, this is just the beginning, and we have to move this process forward.
What do you mean it's just the beginning? What does that mean?
Because we have to move this bill forward if we're going to get to a bill. We have to get to the conference. This would be a vote to move this process forward, and that's to all the conservatives, anyone that is still on the fence on this bill. Yes, we can make amendments. Yes, we can move forward. But we have to get this vote through so that we can go to conference, Neil. We can't sit here and do this for another 10 months. This is something that Republicans have been promising Americans. You give us a Republican president, we will get Obamacare repealed and replaced.
And you either go along with us or we're going to primary you out, even if it means risking losing the Senate in the process. You ought to look at cutting off your nose to spite your face.
No, you know what, Neil? Democrats, when they believe in something, when they have power, they use that power and they fall on the sword. And that was Obamacare. This is the exact same thing for Republicans and Republican
As long as you're recognizing, Katrina, that by falling on the sword you have a good possibility of losing a Republican seat in Nevada, then that's your call. But that's the risk, right?
Well, we promised voters, conservatives, Republicans alike, that we were going to repeal and replace Obamacare. We're not going to fix this overnight.
But you didn't really repeal it, and this is hardly a black and white replacement.
This is beginning the process. But this is beginning the process.
That's all this guy's saying.
That's not what he's saying. He's saying he's not going to support this bill. And in order to move this forward,
have you heard what he's saying, Katrina? That's not what he said at all.
That's what he said on Friday.
All right,
He did not
Katrina,
want to support
all right.
this bill.
We're going nowhere fast, my friend.